Hello friends, myself Arpit Korsani. Welcome to Anthropology and Tutorials. Today we will discuss the Primatology Part-2. In the last video, we have discussed the classification of primates and even explained some species in the last video. But in Primatology Part-2, we explained the rest of the species which were left in the last video, right? So let's start. So there is a family Halobatidae. So in this family there are two species that are Gibbons and Siamongs. So what is the distribution of these two? The Gibbons are found in the Southeastern Asia, Northeast India and Burma and the islands of Indo-Malayan archipelagos. But the Siamongs are only found in the one place, that is Sumatra, right? So the Gibbons are the smallest of the apes in a size. Average weight of the adult common gibbon is about 13 pounds, while the Siamong is about 24 pounds. So they live in a small family consisting of parents and minor children. They eat leaves, flowers, fruits or insects, right? So the gibbon possesses such longer upper extremities that when it stands erect, the finger-ups touch the ground, and the extraordinary length of the arm is directly associated with the brachiating mode of locomotion, right? So the skin color is usually black, the whole body except the face covered with the fine woolly hair. So the head is narrow and elongated. The digit except the thumb, which is imperfectly opposable, bear elongated and laterally compressed nails, right? So the dental formula is of 32451, right? So this is the dental formula. The cranium is large, enlarged and somewhat flattened, while the facial portion is reduced in size. The cranium presents ovoid contour and low frontal elevation. The orbits are large and prominent. The supraorbital torus is absent in the gibbons, right? So the nasal bones are flat and broad, and so the common gibbons differ from the Siamongs in some characters. Siamongs is larger than the gibbon. It has a shorter legs and longer arms, and trunk is relatively shorter, and the chest is broader. The skull is longer, and the cranial capacity is larger. Webbing of the second and the third toe is more advanced, right? The skull is longer and cranial capacity is larger, and webbing of the second and third toe is more advanced. So they also live on the flowers, leaves, fruits and insects, right? So this is the characteristics of gibbons and Siamongs. So the next species is the Pongidae. So in this family there are three species, that are orangutan, gorilla and chimpanzee. So these are the three species which are come under the Pongidae family. So what are the characteristics of the first species, that is orangutan? So what are the characteristics? So orangutan is confined to the islands of Sumatra and Borneo, right? So these species are found in the in Indonesia islands of Borneo and the Sumatra, right? So these are the places where these orangutans are found. So they measure about 4 feet in height from the vertex to the sole, right? Their average weight is being 165 pounds in the former and 80 pounds in the later, right? They are arboreal animals. Their movements are said to be very slow and deliberate. On the ground they go on a four legs, right? The orangutans are very often described as a slow, sluggish and morose creature. So the diet consists of wild fruit, leaves and shoots, right? So it has been observed that they live in the family consisting of a male, female and their young children. So long, coarse, shaggy hairs are sparsely distributed on their body. The hair color is usually reddish brown. The face, ears, soles and palms are naked. So on the face, ears, soles and palms, they don't have a hairs, right? So the skin color is brownish. The nostrils are oval or a slit-like in outline and are placed obliquely. In profile, the nose gives as a flat, concave appearance, as the root is narrow and the bridge is not elevated. The face is concave in profile. Such a condition of face is described as a cyanognathism, right? The ears are small. The foot is also long and narrow. The great toe is very long and opposable. The upper extremities are longer. Orangutan is kept in erect posture. The fingertips reach the ankles, right? So the skull is relatively small, and its average cranial capacity of male is about 416 cc. So supraorbitals are not continuous, or torus is not found in this species. So this is all about the orangutan, right? So chin is absent in the orangutans. Then upper extremities are very longer, and hallux and pollux are very small and opposable. So these species are frugivorous and slow, cautious climber. So this is all about the orangutan, right? The next species in a Pongidae family, that is gorilla. So what are the characteristics of gorilla? So the gorilla is found in the east central equatorial Africa, right? They comprise of one general, two species. That were the lowland gorilla, having a Cameroon, Gabon, eastern or mountain gorilla, right? So these are the found in the west, east, central, equatorial Africa. So the gorilla has a enormous, robust body weighing of average 450 pounds. The height ranging from 5 feet to 6 feet in a lowland gorilla, and a 5 feet to 3.5 inches to 5 feet 10.5 inches in a mountain gorillas. So the gorilla pass most of their time on the ground. They very often climb tree also. Upon the ground, their usual gait is obliquely quadrupedal, though they can stand and walk erect. They walk upon the sole of the foot. They are slow moving animal. Their diet consists of fruit, shoots, leaves, vegetables. They live, mostly they are vegetarian. They live in a small bands of 3 to 10 family. The skin color is black and dark brown. The whole body, shave the palm, face and the sole is covered with the black long coarse hair. The ears are small in size, bear no lobes. The nose shows slight elevation and a bridged butt. The root is low and flat. The nasal wings are very quick nostril and are broad and directed forward. So the lips are thin. The hand of the gorilla resembles that of man in certain characters. It is comparatively shorter and broader than in other anthropoid apes, right? So the thumb is also better developed. The foot of the gorilla is adapted for arboreal prehension. It also tendency to resemble human foot, right? The head is very large, but the consists of small cranium and enormous projecting face and jaws. The supraorbital ridges are of enormous size, continuous to form a torus. So the supraorbital ridges are very prominent in the gorilla, and the torus is present in it. The forehead is very low. The skull presents a very prominent sagittal crest, which is weaker in a female than in a male. So, what is the cranial capacity? The cranial capacity of the male gorilla is about 550 cc, and the female has a 450 cc, right? So, the mastoid process is moderately developed. So the jaw is large. So little bit prognathism is present in the gorilla. So the chin is absent in it. The foot of the gorilla adapted for arboreal prehension, right? So and they have a short legs and long arms. So this is all about the characteristics of a gorilla. Next species is chimpanzee, right? Chimpanzee. So chimpanzee include three species: the common chimpanzee, the bald-headed chimpanzees, and pygmy chimpanzee, right? So these are the three species which are in the chimpanzee, right? So they are found in the tropical forest of Africa. The average height of the male is estimated 5 feet and that of female at 4 feet. The average weight of the male is about 110 pounds. Of the female is about 88 pounds. So they live in a small bands of about 8 to 9 individuals. Their food consists of various kinds like that of fruits or some other vegetable products. So chimpanzees are expert in climbing and brachiating. They run about on a four legs, right? But they are capable of standing and walking erect. The body is somewhat partially covered with a long, coarse, shaggy hair of variable colors. The skin color also varies. In typical chimpanzee, the margin of nostrils are not much expanded. The ears are very long but without lobes. So the hand is elongated and narrow. The fingers are long, the thumb is opposable. The palm is naked. The foot is also long and narrow. The chimpanzees are short-legged and long-armed animals. In standing position, the fingertips go down the knees. The vault of the head is low. The cranial capacity of male is about 400 cc, and the supraorbital ridges are continuous, prominent, but not so massive as that of gorilla. The nasal bones are much reduced in length and are fused in early part of their life. The nasal bridge is not elevated. The chin is absent in gorilla. The jaw projects forward. The canines are large, sharp, and projected, but in lesser degree, but compared to those of gorilla and orangutan. So, then this is the main characteristics of chimpanzee, right? This is all about today.